Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Portland 360. I'm Kevin Michael Moore. I am your host. Make noise. You're host. Nice to have you in here. We are a week before Christmas here. As you're watching this on the web, you might not realize that, but that's why I'm wearing a scarf. We have just gotten through Snowpocalypse 2016 with our trace of snow and a little bit of ice, and that locks us up and makes people from Colorado think we're really stupid, but we've gotten through it, and as it's right near the holidays, I thought, I'm going to open up, tell you a couple of stories about animal death, because, nothing says the holidays like animal death, and, as a kid and maybe as a parent, you give a child an animal just to give them their first glimpse of mortality. Because you give a little kid a puppy, you know that kid hopefully will outlive that puppy, and you've taught them some lesson in life. And this has gone through my life many, many times. And so I have two stories. I'll open with one and close with one. First story involves a turtle. Now, I grew up in suburban Portland, which is the 177th and Pacific Avenue in the glorious Rockwood neighborhood, which when I was a kid was way more suburban than it is today. And we would play, like in Sandlot, we would play kickball and baseball in the street. That's what you did. And you car, and then you'd stop and let the car come through. So I must have been maybe 10, 11 years old. My sister's like 7, 8 years old. And we're playing kickball in the street. And we notice at one point that second base is moving. And I look out, and this is perfect box turtle, like walking across the street. A little box turtle, right? And knowing that box turtles aren't indigenous to the Rockwood neighborhood, I realized, well, this is somebody's pet that's gotten away, right? So me and my sister, we draw little pictures of turtles and put them on signs and say, hey, found turtle. Well, nobody got back to us on the turtle, so the turtle was mine. And I named the turtle Ringo. And so I had Ringo the turtle, right? And we took one of our kiddie pools and we turned it over and filled it up with dirt and gave the turtle all the love that we could as children. And it was our secret turtle because we didn't even tell our parents that we had a turtle in the backyard. Well, this is end of summertime. Coming on winter time, the turtle, Ringo, appears to die. And so my sister and I, Sherry, we give this elaborate child's funeral for the turtle, right? We dig a little hole in the ground for it. We bury the turtle. We have a little mock ceremony for it. Well, being 10, 11 years old, I don't realize that turtles hibernate for the winter, right? So it wasn't dead when we buried the turtle. The turtle went into the ground, and we forgot about the turtle until springtime. Well, come springtime, my sister Sherry, she comes running into my room. The Ringo is back alive. And the ground had been overturned, and my sister was sure that we had a zombie turtle in the backyard. And so she killed it, and with a spade, and we reburied the turtle, only 2 years later find out that, turtles were meant to hibernate during the wintertime. And, that's going to be the first story of animal death for you. And that goes out to my sister, Sherry, who is a turtle killer. There she is. She's also a duck killer. But we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. I'd like to bring our first guest to the stage. She is Tori Ward. Please applaud. I got the wrong person up on stage first. I'm so sorry. But we're going to go ahead and go with it, as I already brought you up here. Ladies and gentlemen, Tori Ward. Applaud.
How's it going, everybody?
Great.
Awesome audience. So I recently started dating this guy from my class. Privileged. And I woke up at his house this morning running late for work, and I really needed a bobby pin. And I looked down on the ground and I found one. But it wasn't mine. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that some girl left this here for me. Like, it was so considerate. I really needed one. So I realized bobby pins are really like the change in the take a penny, leave a penny jar. for horse. So with the election, people are throwing around the word Nazi a lot. And I don't think it's helpful, guys. I don't think it's productive. Like the other day, this guy called me a grammar Nazi. And I was like, whoa, excuse me. I prefer grammar white nationalist. Or grammar, I voted for him because I liked his toupee, not because I hate Mexicans. I think it's really funny how religious people kill each other all the time. I mean that earnestly. Yes, earnestly. Hemingway. So I went to Lincoln City for Thanksgiving. My family's from Lincoln City. And we decided to mix it up a little this year, do it a little differently, because it's already such an ethically questionable holiday, right? And so we did the right thing this year. We decided to just go out for dinner at the Chinook Winds Casino. And the irony of the situation didn't dawn on me at all until dinner was almost over, and my extremely gauche uncle started making these terrible comments, like when he said, honey, don't wipe your mouth with that napkin, they might be trying to get revenge. Or when he corrected our waiter who asked if we wanted more corn and said, excuse me, sir, I believe it's called maize. And I felt so bad and so embarrassed, so I grabbed a huge tip, I grabbed my waiter, and I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I swear I'm culturally sensitive, I'm educated, I can't imagine what it's like for you as a Native American to be serving our family Thanksgiving dinner. And he took the tip and he said, honey, don't sweat it. A, I'm Mexican. And B, at least this time you're leaving. Thank you guys so much.
Tori Ward, everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Here's a question, Tori. Lincoln City, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if this is still true, but I do remember back in the day going to Lincoln City, and right next to each other on one of the main strips in Lincoln City were two businesses, and I don't know if they're still there, but I hope they are. One was the Burning Bush Christian Reading Room.
Yep.
And next door to it was the Red Cock Antiques.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. To me, that makes everything in the world better. It's just so much better. That was great. I'm going to bring our next comic to the stage. He is Nick Walker. Please applaud. Here he is.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, audience. It's so great to be here. It has been cold this past week. I don't know if it bothered me as much as I don't leave the house that much. That's a good way people complain about traffic and everyone's so terrible about driving in the cold in Portland. It's like, just don't leave your house. It's easy to not complain about things when you don't go out of your way to participate in them. But I did notice though, the driving is fine for me, but now people I think are scared of slipping on the idea of snow now. And that's frightening. This isn't like Never Never Land where you can like pretend you have food and so you could eat the pretend food. It doesn't work out that way. I was at work today, I had to work, and I was at work and I heard a child whine, and then I heard his father mock imitate his own son's whine. And that's when I realized I could become a father. Just looks easy, you know? You take what you can get. It's like, that's a worse version of myself. I'm not smart. I'll just make fun of it all day. Parenting. Is anyone astrologically inclined? A lot of people I know they take much pride in their horoscope, take a lot of pride in their signs. I don't, but I do occasionally go on the internet, and a lot of people on the internet take pride in their astrological signs. I saw this article on Facebook. Everyone was freaking out about it. Someone, thousands of years ago, screwed up all their astrological signs, so people are trying to tell me that I'm no longer a Scorpio and that I'm a Pisces, and that's when I got impassioned about it, because I know that I am a Scorpio, okay? There's no way I could be a Pisces. Like, I know I'm a Scorpio deep in my heart because I'm courageous, I'm smart, and I'm charismatic, very charismatic. But the one reason that I really know in my heart of hearts that I'm a Scorpio is because why else would I get this Scorpio tattoo across my chest unless I didn't completely believe that I was a Scorpion? That's what I think a Scorpio is I could just turn into a Scorpion. That's how I think about my astrological sign. Is if I believe hard enough, I can morph my body into a Scorpion. If you're a Taurus, you get angry enough, you turn into a bull. That's just how it works. I'm a child. No, I'm not a child of divorce. I'm an adult of divorce, which makes me so much better than any children of divorce. I look down on them. I say, oh, I was smart when my parents got divorced. But they robbed me. Like, my parents got divorced when I was 27, and they robbed me a lot of teen angst that I had building up. I couldn't, mess up my room, couldn't punch a hole in the wall because now I have to pay rent in that room, and I want to get my deposit back. The one thing, I can't listen to the music that I had that I could have for teen angst purposes. I can't listen to any Papa Roach or anything like that. Nu metal. It's all in the past. What I have to listen to now is Tammy Wynette, things like that. Tammy Wynette, she sang a song called Divorce, Divorce. The gist of the song is she is in the midst of a divorce, and she's talking to a friend about it, and she has a little 4-year-old son, and she doesn't want him to know about the divorce, so she spells it out. And this 4-year-old in a country song doesn't know how to spell. That's what I take away from it. But anytime you spell out a song, or spell out a word, my mind makes an acronym out of those little letters. So I'd like to perform for you guys my divorce acronym. It goes like this. D, damn it. I don't have a family anymore. V, very upsetting. Why, God, why? R, Randy. Seems like a cool name for a stepdad. C, Chaz, also a cool name for a stepdad. E, everything's gonna be okay as long as I have a Randy or a Chaz in my life. Looking for a Randy and Chaz to see my mom. I did talk to my mom the other day. She has been dating. She's become a cougar, she has nicknamed her vagina No Country for Old Men. I hope she's not watching this, especially because she'd be like, that's too old of a reference. Okay? We know you only watched the movie, you haven't read the book. That's going to be my time. Thank you very much.
Nick Walker.
Kevin McElroy.
Thank you. One more time, Nick Walker, everybody. I am a Pisces, by the way. I had a woman come up to me who's really into astrological signs at one point and say, you're a Pisces, that means you're in your final life. I'm like, really? After 12 lives, I amount to this. What was I like at Capricorn? But we are ready for a final comic on the show tonight. He is John Washington. Applause for clapping and clapping.
Oh boy, keep it going for yourselves. Everybody here and on the internet, in every direction and dimension there is. I'm glad that everybody can. I don't know the full extent of this technology, but I can only hope that the camera can swoop above me and take in the baldest part of my head. It's really great to be here in front of all of you and just let you witness me balding. Hair by hair. I'm just counting them as they go. I'm counting people going into a Costco. I'm just ticking them off as they're on their way out, as I slowly werewolf into a stepdad. It's a great look I'm cultivating. I know it seems like I'm probably Jewish. I'm not. I'm just into the music and I like the look. To be honest, I'm half black. I've got a black dad. I'm also a mulatto, if you're racist, in 1937. It's great. It's a weird place to come from because I grew up in the suburbs of Arizona, and so my dad is the only black person I knew growing up. Okay, and you've got to understand he's a strange influence. He is a black Republican who owns several Yes albums. And so I just identify on most job applications as confused. A lot of people say that I don't seem very black. They say, John, you don't act very black. And I say, well, I don't wear socks with sandals or shop at the Big Dog outlet. So guilty as charged on that one. Let's see, I don't know if anybody watching right now has had this experience, but having their dad show up drunk to their 8th birthday party. I did not. My dad showed up drunk to a stranger's 8th birthday party. We were all at home, and we got a call. My mom picks up, and they say her husband's 5 neighborhoods over, and he just put his foot through a doghouse. He's the 3rd drunkest father here. But he doesn't have anybody to embarrass, so he's basically invincible. Come get him, we don't have a goodie bag for him. It was a broken home. My mom was a high-functioning chocoholic, and my dad actually ended up walking out one day to get a pack of e-cig cartridges. Yeah, it's one of those things. That old chestnut, right? You know, it wasn't until the next day, we were naive, we started to realize that he probably might be coming back. It's terrifying. Oh boy, I actually think that I would like to get a 10-foot pole. Because I can think of a lot of things that I would touch with it. I think the 10-foot pole industry is suffering because we mainly frame the product in terms of things that we wouldn't use it with. And I can think of many things I would. Frogs. I would touch frogs with a 10-foot pole. My in-laws. Jokes about my in-laws I apparently would touch with a 10-foot pole. Most things, actually pretty much anything. I ride the bus to work, so 10 feet of personal space seems like a real vacation for me. It would give me space to man-spread, I'm so sorry. I just load my backpack with bricks and then I hug it. Which is what everybody who sits next to me on the bus apparently does. Is just they load 6 cinder blocks into their backpack, and then they sit with it on their lap and they hug it, and they just lock their elbows. They sharpen their elbow. They got their elbows sharpened by a cosmetic doctor, and then they got onto the bus and they hugged 6 cinder blocks. Oh, riffing is a great thing to do when performing in a vacuum. Who here is on Facebook? Clap if you're on Facebook. Keep clapping if you like using Facebook. That's pretty much it. We're all, as far as I can tell, there are 6 things that you can do on Facebook. You can complain. You can complain about people complaining. You can argue with the people complaining about the complainers. You can complain about the people who are starting arguments with the people who are complaining. You can argue with one another over the best way to complain. And you can sign up for the Tough Mudder Run. On this, I've actually been going through a lot of jobs recently. It's been tough. It started when I was working at the ice cream parlor, and they fired me, actually, because they caught me in the back doing whippets. Then I moved on to the pet shop, which I got fired from because they caught me in the back doing whippets. And now I'm here to advocate for people who are in recovery from addiction, because I recently got fired from a backup keyboardist position for Devo because I told them that I could not do whippet. I've been John Washington, everybody. Let's bring Kevin Michael Moore back.
Thank you, John. One more time, John Washington with the clapping and the clapping and the clapping.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know, I came straight over here from doing 2 children's theater shows, from doing Wizard of Oz right now, and the cutest thing in the world happened today. I had a little kid, sweet little 6-year-old boy, I'm signing his autograph. Scrupulously, he looks me into the face and says, "You're not Santa." It's beautiful. And that same little kid would have been devastated if he'd lost his pet. And see how that segue? What's the best kind of money? Anybody? Huh?
Free money.
You'd think. Birthday money. Birthday money is the most important money you can ever have. And birthday money, I mean, you count the pennies on that, and you are very careful what you're spending your birthday money on. Well, one year, I decided to spend my birthday money on a duck. Down the street, they were selling ducks. I bought a duck for $7. I named it Arnold because I thought Arnold was too on the nose. It was too on the nose, so like Arnold the duck. And the best thing about a duck is that the way to play with the duck is to get it to eat anything at all. You can throw, feed down, immediately go for it. You can throw a cigarette butt down, the duck is going for the cigarette butt, right? So my sister Sherry, well, she and my cousin Leanne, well, we're younger than the turtle story, all right? So I was maybe 8 and she was maybe 5. So one day, I look out the back windows of my house, and I see my sister and my cousin Leanne sprinkling ivory snowflakes on the lawn. Now, if you don't know what ivory snowflakes are, they're like a baby cleaning product. It's basically just shavings of soap, just like big, thick shavings of, like poison death to a duck, right? Well, she's sprinkling it on a pattern on the ground, and the duck is going at the pattern on the ground. And by the time I got to the duck did one of these. Bam! To the side and down, dead. I turn to my sister Sherry and I say, "You owe me $7." And with that, I would like to leave the show. We'll be back in the new year. I'd like to thank my guests for coming out. We got Tori and John and Nick. Very nice. Happy holidays to you guys. And we'll be back in a few weeks. So, Merry Christmas.